Yeah. I'm gonna get away from that mic. Yeah, that's right. Like I said to Rangers, in 15 minutes you give me the script. At least with Earl, I had 2 days in advance. And we'll sit down for 2 days and work over. In 15 minutes. If we do, well, if you can figure it out, let me know. Ah, it's just that they got 2 spotlights right at you. To what? Yeah, but still, then if I'm like this, you're ignoring this. So, hey, I blow up a name, I blow up a name. And this year they're not even paying me. The other years they used to get breakfast. It's still no breakfast. I told them I can't work this way anymore. That's it. In the contract, it's breakfast with food. So, yeah, I got a pen. Here.
Fucking Jamie's not here, that son of a bitch.
Okay, so watch what you say. So I only call you up when we put your name down.
Yeah.
From the beginning, it's all me. Okay. He's got the quarterback award.
Yeah. But there's Linda's gonna do special teams. Linda Bennett, she's gonna do them all.
MVP offense. Hang on. Bonjour. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Quebec Midget Football League Annual Banquet. Bienvenue au banquet annuel de la Ligue de football Midget du Québec. Le vidéo qui va vous être présenté est une production de Amateur Football Video by Mr. Billy Morulatos. And I know it's a great job, as Billy does every year, and I know he's got some cassettes available for sale just in case you want them. So let's enjoy the video. Billy, the show's all yours. Ce n'était qu'un avant-goût. It's just a little appetizer. Wait till you get to see the real one that he's prepared for us today. Alors, mesdames et messieurs, bon appétit. I hope you enjoy the meal, and we'll see you. Oh, that's true. I forgot to invite the host of the Quebec Midget League for the banquet today, the VP, Mr. Renzo Ferraccio.
Thank you, Tony. Bienvenue à tout le monde. De la part de tout l'exécutif de la Ligue de football Midget du Québec, je vous souhaite la bienvenue. We have a few special guests today. Nos deux premiers invités, c'est des amis spéciaux de la Ligue de football Midget du Québec. Our two first guests are special friends of the Quebec Midget Football League. Un ancien entraîneur de la Ligue de football Midget du Québec, un ancien gagnant de la Coupe Grey et l'entraîneur-chef de nos Carabins, Coach Danny Machacha. A former Penn State coach. He's had several positions in the CFL, and he's now the head coach of the Ottawa GGs, Coach Jamie Baracey. The president of the Quebec Bantam Football League, Linda Bennett. former All-Star offensive lineman in the Quebec Midget Football League. He played his university football, University of Colorado Buffaloes, and he played 10 seasons with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Marwin Hage. I'd like to introduce the executives of the Quebec Midget Football League. J'aimerais présenter les exécutifs de la Ligue de football midget du Québec. Le président, M. Earl de la Péral. Le premier vice-président, Wilbur Scott. VP of Marketing, the guy that's right behind there and who's responsible for live streaming this event, Mr. Evans Vogus. Our treasurer, Andy Walter. Our registrar, Tom Stewart. Notre secrétaire, Nelly Vicente. Et l'ancien président de la Ligue de football midget du Québec, M. Daniel Grégoire. And Vice President, Andy D'Alessandro. I'd just like to inform everyone that the All-Stars are selected by ballots that are filled out by the coaches during the season. They are tabulated at the end of the season, and in December, there's a vote from all the coaches to select the All-Stars. Alors, de la façon qu'on choisit les All-Stars ou les joueurs d'étoiles de la Ligue Midget, c'est que tout le long de la saison, les entraîneurs des deux équipes vont nominer certains joueurs qui ont joué pendant la partie. À la fin de la saison, tous ces votes-là sont tabulés et il y a un vote. Les coachs de chaque équipe n'ont pas le droit de voter pour leurs propres joueurs, ils votent pour les autres joueurs. So they truly are all-stars. They're people that are voted on throughout the season. So good luck to all the players. The MC that you met at the very beginning, Mr. Tony Yadaluka, has been involved in football for 42 years. He's going to be our MC for tonight. And I'd like to introduce my friend, Mr. Tony Yadaluka.
Okay, now that we got the script right. Thank you, Mr. Ferraccio. And now I'm going to get to introduce Mr. Murulado's video, and we'll enjoy the meal at the same time. We'll see you a little bit later. Merci beaucoup. Et on va faire la présentation du vidéo de Monsieur Murulatos. Thank you. Alors, j'espère que tout le monde a apprécié le repas. I hope everybody enjoyed the meal. And I hope everybody enjoyed that beautiful tape, the video que M. Murulatos nous a... yes, that's right. He deserves a good hand of applause. And by the way, si quelqu'un veut acheter un DVD, il est au fond de la salle et il va s'occuper de vous. Our first speaker, notre premier conférencier, on peut dire en français, c'est un gars de chez nous. From this league, started off as a head coach, went on to the CFL, and presently the head coach with the Carabins de l'Université de Montréal, Mr. Danny Machocha.
Good afternoon. Bonjour. Ça me fait toujours plaisir de vous revoir. Ça fait plusieurs années que j'ai pas eu la chance de participer à cette belle journée. Comme Tony disait, j'étais entraîneur en chef dans la Ligue Midget dans le 1990. C'était mon président, justement, c'était Tony qui m'avait engagé. Puis en 90, je savais que j'avais tout un avenir dans le domaine du coaching. J'ai eu ma première année parfaite. On a joué 10 matchs, on a gagné. On avait une fiche de 0 et 10. Puis je m'appelle encore qu'on s'est affronté contre l'équipe de Son Youth puis Earl de la Perelle. Puis on avait mangé toute une volée, je pense que c'était 60-3. Alors c'est sûr que je me posais beaucoup de questions en 90, mais j'ai eu des belles années dans cette ligue-là. Puis encore aujourd'hui, j'ai parmi vous beaucoup d'amis que je reste en contact avec. Puis c'est du monde qui ont eu un impact dans ma carrière, c'est sûr et certain. C'est sûr que je suis très content d'être de retour à Montréal, à l'Université de Montréal. Je vais débuter ma 8e saison. Chez nous, on a 2 thèmes chez nous. C'est la famille puis la compétition. Quand je vous parle de famille, ça veut dire que chaque fois, on est en train de recruter un jeune, on lui fait comprendre que quand il embarque sur le terrain, il représente pas seulement l'Université de Montréal, la HEC ou la Polytechnique, mais il représente le monde qui ont eu un impact, qui ont fait des sacrifices pour lui, qu'il soit là, puis il va avoir une opportunité d'aller chercher un bac puis un parcours de 4-5 ans avec nous. Alors, on leur dit souvent que quand tu embarques sur le terrain avec le chandail des Carabins, tu représentes beaucoup de monde. La famille, pour nous, c'est très important. Quand on recrute un jeune, c'est pas pour un parcours de 4-5 ans, mais c'est un choix de vie quand tu t'en viens à l'Université de Montréal. On leur demande de vivre une expérience complète. Je vous donne des exemples. Ils sont des joueurs de football, oui, mais on est très impliqués dans la communauté. On est souvent présent à l'hôpital Sainte-Justine. On fait des visites chaque année. Puis on a une trentaine de visites chaque année dans des écoles défavorisées pour leur faire comprendre que c'est très important que vous restiez à l'école puis que vous allez graduer à un moment donné avec un bac à l'université. On a un comité de parents. On partage beaucoup de valeurs en famille chez nous à l'Université de Montréal. La deuxième chose qui est très importante chez nous, c'est la compétition. Il faut compétitionner tous les jours. Ça veut dire quoi? Il faut compétitionner sur le terrain de foot. Il faut compétitionner dans tes cours. Parce qu'à un moment donné, que tu joues au football professionnel ou tu tombes dans le marché du travail, il faut compétitionner tous les jours. Dans la vie, on n'est jamais rendu. Tu peux gagner des coupes Grey, tu peux gagner des coupes Vanier, tu peux être un joueur all-canadien pendant plusieurs années. Tu n'es jamais rendu dans la vie. Alors, c'est sûr que nous, un de nos thèmes, puis on continue de le pousser assez fort, c'est qu'il faut compétitionner tous les jours. Un message qui est très important. Je vois de plus en plus des jeunes qui veulent jouer du football professionnel. On a plusieurs chez nous. On a eu la chance, les 4 dernières années, d'en avoir 25 qui étaient dépêchés dans la Ligue canadienne, puis un aussi qui a eu la chance de jouer avec les Panthers de Caroline. Puis justement, je pense qu'on va en avoir un deuxième en Sibassou à la fin de cette année. Les gars, je vous le dis, c'est mieux d'avoir un bac. C'est mieux d'avoir un bac. Si vous voulez un bon exemple, je suis assez chanceux aujourd'hui, je ne m'entendais pas ça, mais il y a Marwan qui se trouve à ma table. C'est un joueur qui était à l'Université de Buffalo. Il a joué 10 ans de la Ligue canadienne. Aujourd'hui, c'est un homme d'affaires, puis il a besoin de continuer de travailler. On ne peut pas se permettre de penser qu'on va prendre une retraite avec un salaire de la Ligue canadienne. Je vous donne un exemple. Le plafond salarial actuellement est à 5,4. 5,4 millions. Il y en a 400 qui s'en vont vers les carrières. Il en reste 5 millions pour 59 joueurs. On fait la moyenne, ça, c'est 85 000 $ par année. Même pas net. All right? Puis la vie d'un joueur dans la Ligue canadienne, on parle de 3 ans. Ça veut dire que tu vas avoir 30 ans, puis ou tu ne joues plus dans cette ligue-là, ou tu t'es fait échanger, tu t'es fait libérer. Mais à un moment donné, il faut que tu aies un bac en main parce que ton bac va te rapporter pendant les 40 ou 50 prochaines années de ta vie. J'ai eu la chance de travailler dans cette ligue-là pendant 14 ans, comme entraîneur en chef puis DG à Edmonton. Aujourd'hui, avec une femme puis 3 enfants, j'ai besoin de continuer de travailler. Ça, c'est la réalité. Alors, je vous suggère fortement de continuer de jouer le sport que vous adorez, que vous êtes passionné pour, mais d'aller à l'école puis d'aller chercher minimum un bac. Minimum un bac, puis à un moment donné, de retourner dans vos équipes respectives, que ce soit au football civil ou ailleurs, puis de redonner. Ça, c'est la chose qui est très, très, très importante. Alors, j'espère que ça, c'est un message que vous allez comprendre, parce qu'à un moment donné, comme j'ai dit, le football va se terminer. Alors, je vous encourage fortement d'aller chercher le minimum un bac. I also want to take the opportunity to talk about 2 men that have had a huge impact in my coaching career. Like I mentioned before, my president here, still behind me here, Tony Adeluca, they gave me an opportunity to coach for the Sayonara Cougars. It's something that I've never truly forgotten. And every day, whether I'm in Montreal or whether I'm traveling or whether I'm coaching for one organization or another, it's something that I truly cherish because those were some of my best years coaching with the Sayonara Cougars. And I never forget. If there's ever an opportunity for me to go back, I will always go back and help out. And I remember in 2014, the year we won the Vanier Cup, I made it a priority that I was able to free up 2 tickets for the game and to give them to Tony because it was so important for me that he understood the impact that he had in my coaching career. Another gentleman that's had a tremendous impact is someone that's sitting to my right-hand side, in Earl de la Perelle. When we talk about someone that's had an impact in the community, whether it's on or off the field, and we think about football people, Earl's got to come to mind. I always say there's only 2 men in this organization or in the football family that still today can intimidate me, and that's Tony Adeluca and Earl de la Perelle. When they come calling, I always say yes. If there's a way that I can help out, I'll always be at the forefront, and I will give a helping hand. Earl is a model in every sense of the word. Not only has he contributed with the success of the players on the field, but I think he's had even a bigger impact on the way he's been able to affect young people's lives. So I'm truly honored. I'm privileged to be here tonight. And this football league here, the Midget League, is truly healthy and kicking. And I want to take the opportunity to wish you all the best of luck and have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. I'd like to ask Mr. Faracho to make Danny une présentation spéciale, Monsieur Faracho. Thank you, Danny. Alors, nous allons continuer avec les présentations. We'll start with the awards. Le premier trophée, the first award, will be for the League Championship Trophy. This will be presented by a gentleman who played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, played with the Montreal Alouettes, and has been an executive and a coach for more than 30 years in the Quebec Midget Football League, Mr. Wilbert Scott. Wilbert, will you please come up to make the presentation? So the championship trophy for the league championship, and I would ask only the coaches to come up, please. The winners are the Packers, the Greenfield Packers. Coaches, please come up. Greenfield Packers. Pour les présentations for the All-Star Defense. First, the MVP for defense, les joueurs le plus important de la défensive. I would like to ask Mr. Coach Danny Machocha to come up to make this presentation, please. The MVP for defense, le joueur par excellence à la défensive. From the Sun Youth Hornets, number 7, Olivier Chermont. Le prochain trophée, the next MVP pour la ligne défensive, the MVP for defensive line. Excuse me. I'd like to ask Mr. Dave de la Perelle, former CFL player, to come up and make the presentation, please. Alors, MVP defensive line. From the Sherbrooke Bulldogs, number 92, Jérémy Benoit. Congratulations, félicitations. Okay, I would like to ask, je demanderais à M. Daniel Grégoire, ancien président de la Ligue de football midget du Québec, pour venir faire les présentations for the All-Star Defensive Line, la ligne défensive All-Star. From the St. Lazare Stallions, number 99, Jared Heward. From the Chateauguay Raiders, number 87, Owen Lavillière. From the St. Leonard Cougars, number 95, Raphaël Etienne. From the LaSalle Warriors, number 74, Vince Surette. And from the Greenfield Packers, number 75, Dryden Clark. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, All-Star Defensive Line 2017. Thank you. Once again, I would like to ask Mr. Wilbert Scott to come up to present for the All-Stars for linebackers, secondaire de ligne. Okay, here we go, linebackers. From the LaSalle Warriors, number 25, Johari McGregor. From the St. Leonard Cougars, number 32, Victor Ibarra. From the Laurentian Wildcats, number 31, Jesse Hackman. From the Laurentian Wildcats, number 4, George Afiatis. I hope I pronounced that right. From the Greenfield Packers, number 20, Eli Auclair. From the Chateauguay Raiders, number 41, Mathis Melhorn. And from the Ville Saint Laurent Spartans, number 26, Richelet Rinchet. Linebackers, 2017. Linebackers 2017 All-Stars. Get together, boys, get a picture. All-Star demi-défensif, All-Star defensive backs. I would like to ask Mr. Andy D'Alessandro, VP of the Midget League, to come up to make the presentations, please. From the St. Lazare Stallions, number 1, Spencer Fitzpatrick. From the Sherbrooke Bulldogs, number 30, Kevin Day Caron. From the Sun Youth Hornets, number 8, Mendel Joseph. From the North Shore Mustangs, number 7, Bradley Parent. From the St. Leonard Cougars, number 26, Raffaele Morelli. From the Laurentian Wildcats, number 3, Philippe Montreuil. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, defensive back, les joueurs demi-défensifs 2017. Next award for the coaching staff of the year, les entraîneurs, l'équipe d'entraîneurs de l'année. I would like to ask Mr. Andy Walter, the treasurer of the Quebec Midget Football League, to come up to make the presentation. Come on, Andy, instead of presenting a bill, you're going to present an award.
And by the way, it's not Greenfield, it's Greenfield Park.
That's what I said, Greenfield Park. Coaching Staff of the Year 2017, and I've just been reminded to pronounce it properly. In French, it would be Les Packers de Greenfield Park. In English, the Greenfield Park Packers. Coaches, please come up. Coaching Staff of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, a well-deserved award Coaching Staff of the Year, Greenfield Park Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the next presentation is a very important. La prochaine présentation, c'est une présentation très importante. Si je peux avoir une minute de votre attention, if I can have a minute of your attention. The next presentation, this year, the Quebec Midget Football League, cette année, la Ligue de football midget du Québec a incorporé une nouvelle présentation. Lifetime Achievement Awards. C'est une présentation pour la récompense de quelqu'un qui a donné énormément de temps et s'est dévoué à la cause du football, surtout du football midget dans notre ligue. I'll ask Mr. Renzo Ferraccio, VP of the league, to come up and give you the presentation.
This is a very important award for us. It's an award that's given to an individual that has had a significant impact on the players, on the league, on the community, and on the sport as a whole here in Quebec. Alors, c'est un individu qui a eu un impact important, non seulement sur les joueurs, mais sur la ligue, sur sa communauté et sur le football au Québec. Alors, we have three guest speakers that are going to honor today Mr. Earl de la Perelle, who is our Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Earl has been involved for many years in football, and we have three guest speakers that are going to speak about their experience with Earl. We had a few more that wanted to talk about Earl, but it wasn't something that would be appropriate for the audience today. So I'm going to invite, the three people that we're going to invite are Coach Jamie Baracey, Marwan Hage, and Dimitri Menolopoulos, and we're going to start with Coach Jamie Baracey.
First of all, I'd like to say I'm very honored to be in this position to do this. I know the contribution that Earl has made to Montreal football and to football in Canada in general has been very significant. So for me to comment on someone's life's work, I feel very humbled, to say the least. Coach Machocha used the word intimidated. And it's quite an understatement, to be honest with you. I know myself, I've been in this situation. I've been very honored to be at this dinner and to be at this podium many times. And it was usually because Earl would invite me. And it would be, by the way, you're speaking tomorrow at the banquet. And so you had no other choice. And like I said, Coach Machocha's word "intimidate" is very much an understatement. And it was something that I would, at a moment's notice, if I lived in North Carolina, I would make a flight reservation and I would be here because this fellow has meant so much to me. I first met him when I was at Penn State. That story could go quite some time. I hope I'd get a bit more than 3 minutes here, but. Just to try to summarize how we met, I was working there, and I used to live in the locker room, and suddenly one night Earl shows up with a van at the locker room door, and he's demanding all of our equipment, old equipment. And I get a call in my office. It was about 10 o'clock at night. I get a call to come to the door to talk to this guy. And why are you calling me? Well, he's Canadian and you're Canadian. You could probably deal with another idiot like that. But it's no, I meant myself. But anyway, so that was the first time that and that was quite an ordeal there. And our coaches at the time talked about it for quite some time, and I got reverberations when I got back here. People would often talk about, what he did and, what he did for the league and, brought a lot of equipment back. We gave him a whole truckload. And, but the thing is, that was in 1990, and so this has been a long time that I've been associated with Earl, and he's done a lot to help me. I know more significantly, though, he's done a lot to help kids in this area. There's countless, I know Marwin is here, but there's so many others that have benefited from his, how can you say, his sternness, his ability, his dedication. We have kids in our team that at Ottawa that went through this program, and they speak very, very highly of Earl. I kind of feel like I have some big shoes to fill and to live up to, because they went through Earl's program. They went through the structure that Earl provided, and they worked under Earl. And so I know that they understand what discipline is. They understand, what being a good person is. I never have any problems with any of these kids that come from Sun Youth, and they've been a delight to work with. And I'm looking for more of them. Sorry, Dan, but anyway, anytime there's someone from that organization that's coming on at our door, I feel very grateful. There's many stories I can tell, but I know I have a limited amount of time. I just want to say that this whole organization has been very helpful for me. Not only not from a recruiting standpoint, but because of what I see what football can really be like if it's done properly. It's very much an association with other people. It's a way to learn about different things. There's life lessons learned. You go to different cities and you don't see this. I've been very fortunate through football to be able to travel all over North America, and you don't see this in many cities. And for the kids here, I hope you guys understand what this Lifetime Achievement Award is and what it's meant to so many kids, not just you guys, and I don't know how far this goes back, but Earl has had a major, major role in this and has provided great opportunities just through his own stubbornness and his dedication. And to do something like this, to pull all of this kind of stuff off, it really does take vision, and it takes somebody that is very, very dedicated to his cause. And so this is something that I will always take with me. This is a great lesson for football, a sport that's being threatened in many ways, but Earl has managed to keep the spirit of football very much alive in Montreal. And so I'm very grateful to see it and to see his example. I carry that with me all the time. So anyway, I'm very honored to be here to say these words, and believe me, I just feel like not being able to say enough, but I hope that the younger kids here will understand what this has meant, what he has done, and I hope you carry it with you for a long time and pass it on to others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach Barassi. I'd like to invite Marwin Hage to come up to the podium, please.
First, congratulations for everybody that has won and the future winners for the rest of this event. So I'm here to speak from my relationship with Earl, and it kind of fits. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award, and I've had a lifetime with Earl from, when you play at Sun Youth, you're coached by Earl no matter what team you play for. So, I'm going to try to share a few stories, because I was told you have to give some stories. Many of the stories can't speak now. They have to be after 10 p.m. So, I can remember playing in the Bantams. And the Bantam would practice on one side of the field, the midget, and Earl would walk around and yell at each team for something you did at the game, even if he was there or not. And I remember I'd get kicked out of a game, which Earl was not there, because we're always afraid if Earl was around. And he took me aside and just started yelling at me, and you can't say nothing. And I know a lot of you guys, Earl looks like such an angelic man. But it was different. It was different. Playing at the Sun in the 90s was a different environment. It was a very tough environment. You had to show up at practice, and it made me who I am. And I brought that intensity, I would say, in the pros, everywhere I went. You had to show up, and everything you said you were held accountable for. I remember once we were at practice, and there were some drunks. They wanted to practice with us. They were just like, they're not on the team, and so all the boys wanted to fight these guys. And so Earl is trying to teach us a life lesson, and about control, self-discipline, all this good stuff. So he backs us off, and the guy keeps slipping. So Earl turns around and throws a right hook right in the guy's face. So just to give you guys a concept of the Earl I know. And now his wisdom is here, and he's great. But all jokes aside, Earl's been my mentor, and I'm proud to say that. Football was a small part of the mentorship. Life, the lessons I've learned, it's been tremendous. Earl's been always one phone call away for me on everything, on personal, on business, on trouble. When I played at Sun Youth, I was on the verge of either going left or right. Right, good, left, bad. And it took a guy like Earl, and not only me, a lot of my teammates too. A lot of us went from the left side to the right side. And I think I speak on many of them. I think of Patrick Kabongo, who played a long time, who's a great man. And I remember when he was on that. And sometimes in life, you need a guy like Earl that comes in and, and puts it like it is. And I'm very grateful. I'm just going to share a few lessons that I've had from Earl that I just wrote them down. That stick with me today and that I still use in business today. One of them is, when you commit to something, you have to finish it. And it's very easy to say it, but what does it mean? So when you're at practice, you commit to practice. This is what's so important. You finish it. You don't quit. When you commit to doing something, you have to go all the way, fully vested. That's been something I've been taught from day one, and that stuck with me. Second is be a good person in life. Be a good person. It's, again, Montreal in the 90s and Sun Youth in the 90s, it was tough. It's not and now it's good. And it was good for us, but it was a tough neighborhood. It was a tough place. But I think all the guys that came out of it became good people. So wherever you go in life, wherever you end up, you have to be a good person. And that stuck with me. And the last one is, wherever you end up in life, give back. And that's a Sun Youth mantra, right? Wherever you end up. If, like right now, I live in Toronto. When I played in Hamilton, I had a charity. I used to bring kids. And you don't do that to feel good. You do it because you have to. And wherever you end up in life, you have to give back. And if you notice, none of the lessons I'm sharing with you are football lessons, right? And I was coaching. The coaching I received from Earl was excellent. But football is not that important. And I'll relate to what Danny said. It is for you guys now, and I understand. But when it ends, it ends. I played 10 years in the pros. A lot of my teammates played a long time. But when it ends, you got to have something to fall back on. You got to have fundamentals in life, and education is number one. And I know it's cliche, and I sat in those, and I used to roll my eyes, and I don't see the eyes rolling, which, thank you. I would have rolled my eyes and let you see me rolling, but that's just how it was, and it's cliche, but it's true, right? So schooling is very important, because this game can end as fast as it starts. And the more you move up in the pros, you can be the best player on the field, but you just don't fit the cap numbers. And now it's a business. So now you're just a commodity. So have a solid foundation, have an education, work hard. And for me, in this moment, Earl, I'm always one phone call away. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this award. It's my pleasure, and I'm just very lucky to have been mentored by you my whole life, and thank you.
Dimitri Manolopoulos is the head coach of the midget team, but he also sits on the board of directors of Sun Youth Organization. And so Dimitri is going to speak for Sun Youth.
Thank you. I'm very humbled and appreciative of the opportunity to speak today. The last time I had an opportunity to speak with Earl, we were playing a Shrine Bowl game between Concordia and McGill, and I was playing for Concordia, and we had a radio interview to have. And when we got to the radio station, the radio person asked us questions, and Earl noticed that we weren't speaking. And we went to a commercial break, and he said to us, guys, you can't be nodding when somebody's talking to you. You got to start speaking. So again, I'm very humbled to have this opportunity to speak. At the time, I played football for Earl in 1986, and that was my first experience with him. At Sun Youth, you play many positions. You play D-line, you play O-line, I kicked, and you play a linebacker, tight end, quarterback, you name it. You play many positions. And I remember at the time I got blown away by an offensive lineman when I was playing D-line, and I decided to drop back in coverage. I got an interception. Everybody was really, really happy about it. But all of a sudden I saw this man coming from the corner, beelining for me and saying, what the hell were you doing over there? You should be in your position. So I learned a lot there, that you got to take responsibility of what you're doing and make sure that you play the position that you play. Earl has been a significant impact to me. Between high school and CEGEP, I had this masterful thought that I should go work after high school, and school wasn't a good idea for me. So Earl had a friend, and had many friends in the community, as he does today. And he says, I have a job for you. And he sent me to a large corporation that shall name nameless. And I ended up going to work in a place that had a lot of boxes. It was very dark. They gave me a mask, and there wasn't a lot of light going on, and they said, this is something you can be doing. So I didn't last very long there, and I decided that school was for me, following that job that I had for a brief amount of time. So my reflection, and I hear that a lot from our players today, I'm thinking of going to work, I'm thinking of getting some money, I've done my gig, this is good. Earl was a tremendous help for me to keep on doing my education. I was able to go to university, get my bachelor's, and also get a master's in business administration. So Earl had a lot to do with that for me, continuing on from an academic perspective. Earl also had what I would call the power of influence. His power of influence basically started when he asked me to come help the kickers for an hour a week. Just come by, help them out, let them, get better, learn some. Then he says, do you mind coming out for 2 hours? And by mid-season, I was running the special teams for Earl. But one thing about Earl that you got to understand is he's not a very big fan of special teams. He used to give me probably the Friday evening and say, Dimitri, here, I'll give you an hour. You could go through your 6-7 units. Sometimes that was a privilege, and sometimes he would just give me the Saturday before the game. So I remember one time I decided to use his power of influence the way that he had used it on me. During a game, there was a gentleman that was returning the football, and he was going to go for a touchdown. And I just came close to Earl, and I said, Earl, I think this is one of the reasons I would like to have some more time for special teams. And he gave me one of those looks that I can't really share with you, the words that I tell you, but that's a lot of things that helped me get to how I am today as a coach. So I thank Earl a lot for helping me coach, mentoring me and helping me from that perspective. As a head coach this year, It was my first year. It was quite an experience. I had no idea what I was stepping into. I was nominated head coach. I was excited to take Earl's team over, and at the same time I was like, what have I stepped in here? And there's a lot of things that Earl has done for the kids, and I've been trying to use some of the things that I was taught throughout the time to use towards the kids that we have. We try to do after-school programs where we give them snacks. We try to help them with their education. So Sun Youth goes way beyond just being a football team that goes in. It's a community center. It's a place where you get to do more than just football. There's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of people that stick together. Today we have 5-6 alumni that are here. So out of the 32 seats that we have 5-6 alumni that are here today. That's the passion and the love for the organization that just goes beyond football. As a board member that I am today, that was also one of these powers of influence that Earl used on me. Was I'd like you to come to a meeting. We have some decisions to do, and after a while, I ended up finding out that I was on the board of Sun Youth. So being on the board of Sun Youth, the way that it started was with a newspaper. They rented out a newspaper. They got some money from the newspaper. Those funds were used to help underprivileged kids. Now the organization is a multi-million-dollar organization that helps the community throughout. And you'll see that we run emergency services, we have crime prevention, we have a day camp, and we also have sports and recreation. So it goes way, way beyond football, okay? So it's very important that you understand the magnitude of Earl. We're obviously, enshrining him for a Lifetime Achievement Award, but it goes way beyond football. The impact that he's had on the Montreal community is humongous, and I think it's something that the folks today have to have. So I've put down about 6 things in terms of general lessons, and I'd just like to read them out to you. The first one is have passion in what you do, as he does for the sport of football and for the overall benefits of the community. The second thing is give back, and Marwan talked about that. You play football here. A lot of you are players here today. Hopefully you're not on your iPhones right now or texting or doing something. What's important to me is you've played for an organization, give back to those organizations. That's important because you're the lifeline for the next generation of players, okay? Be confident in what you do. Learn the power of persuasion and negotiation, just like Earl has taught me. Earl is able to negotiate anything from bread, all the way to clothing, to you name it. He's up there, and he's a master at that. The other one I'll say is take responsibility and complete your assignments. Similar to what Marwan said, be it in school, be it in work, be it in life and football, do it. Complete what you got to do. Make sure you finish what you started and what you're convicted to. And the last thing I'll say is dream as Earl did. This all started, like I said, at Sun Youth with the newspaper, sharing the funds, using it for underprivileged kids. Now we're looking to get a lot bigger than what we are today. And, I think it's important that everybody acknowledges Earl. And with that, I'd like to thank you for having me speak today and give a large round of applause again for Earl. Thank you very much.
I'd like to invite Bob Moronowitz. Bob Moronowitz is president of the board at Sun Youth and also the president of Football Quebec and a longtime friend of Earl de la Perelle. And the gentleman standing behind me, Tony Erluca. Come on up, Tony. Although Tony is the president of St. Leonard and Earl is the president of Sun Youth or the leader at Sun Youth, we are big rivals in football, but these guys would meet twice a week to have a coffee and exchange players, I think. I think that's what they were doing. So I'm going to ask them to present the award to Earl, and I'm going to ask Cara and David, Earl's daughter and son, to bring Earl up to receive his award. see some of the work that Earl has done, please look at the video monitors.
Let's enjoy this great video made for Earl de Leperel.
We won some and we lost some. We were awful, we were awesome, weren't we, coach? We worked hard, then we were lazy. We were heroes, we were babies. Made you proud and drove you crazy, didn't we, coach? All those mottos, all those reasons, all those rhymes, they stay priceless, they come right back, right on time. You were a teacher, preacher, mother, father, a lot less taker than giver, a keeper of secrets and constantly making believers out of quitters. And for all of your time and your heart and your soul, you deserve a lot more than a toast. But here's to you and thanks again. We'll never forget you, coach. The papers love to hate you. Wasn't worth near what they paid you, but it never seemed to faze you, did it, coach? And those fans could be fair weather, but you kept us all together. Found a way to make us better somehow, coach. Your door was always open, rain or shine. All those hats you wore will always blow my mind. You were a teacher, preacher, mother, father, a lot less taker than giver, a keeper of secrets and constantly making believers out of quitters. And for all of your time and your heart and your soul, you deserve a lot more than a toast. But here's to you and forget your coach. Oh, God bless you, coach. We'll never forget your coach. We'll never forget your coach.
Today we had a good day. Today, thank you.
OK. Nous allons continuer avec les présentations. Les unités spéciales, Special Team Awards. I'd like to ask Linda Bennett, President of the Quebec Bantam Football League, to come up and make the presentation. Spécialiste des longues remises, long snapper, from the Greenfield Packers, number 45, Ressi Seguin. Reese Seguin. Batteur de précision, place kicker, from the Sun Youth Hornets, number 6, Tristan Gilbert Thibault. Batteur de dégagement, punter, from the Laurentian Wildcats, number 31, Jesse Hackman. Returners, nous en avons deux. From the Greenfield Packers, number 2, Nick Chinali. Chinalsi, I hope I pronounced that right. From the St. Liard Cougars, number 3, Alexandra Wedens. Once again, special teams, les unités spéciales, 2017. The next presentation, la prochaine présentation, est le George Miller Organisation de l'année, George Miller Memorial Organization Award for the Organization of the Year. I'd like to ask Nelly Vincente, the secretary from the Quebec Midget Football League, to come up and make the presentation. Once again, I would like to ask only the coaches to come up, please. The Organization of the Year for 2017, l'Organisation de l'année pour l'année 2017, North Shore Mustangs. Once again, George Miller Organization of the Year Award, North Shore Mustangs. The next presentation is for the Keith Ewenson Memorial Award. I would like Mrs. Ewenson to please come up with Mr. Renzo Ferraccio and help make this presentation.
Avant que je mentionne qui va recevoir this award, I'd like to say a few words about this person. Il y a deux paroles, there's two words that describe this person. Il y a deux mots qui décrivent cette personne-là très bien. Passionné et dévoué. Non seulement avec son organisation, mais avec le football mineur au Québec. C'est une personne qui est complètement dévouée et passionnée pour la Ligue Midget. Ça fait 12 ans qu'il est avec l'organisation qu'il est avec présentement, et je suis très fier de le compter parmi mes amis. Cette année, le récipient de bénévole de l'année, c'est James Benoit de Sherbrooke.
Et maintenant, les présentations pour les MVP à l'attaque. All-Star presentations and also MVP players for offense. I'd like to ask Coach Jamie Baresi to come up for the presentation of the MVP for offense for 2017. Le joueur le plus important à l'attaque pour l'année 2017, from the Chateauguay Raiders, number 21, running back Dwight Morgan. MVP offense, running back, number 21, Chateauguay Raiders. The next MVP is for offensive line, la ligne offensive. Je demanderai à M. Marwin Hage to come up to make the presentation. For the MVP, la ligne offensive 2017. From the Greenfield Park Packers, number 99, William Cabana. Now we'll proceed. Nous allons continuer avec les joueurs de ligne d'attaque. Offensive line All-Stars for 2017. From the St. Leonard Cougars, number 53, Matthew Danessa. From the North Shore Mustangs, number 61, Andre Pearson. From the LaSalle Warriors, number 75, Richard Morzova. From the Sun Youth Hornets, number 68, Dion Thompson. From the Chateauguay Raiders, number 68, Melias Hutchison. All-Star Offensive Lineman, 2017. Next category, les porteurs de ballon, running backs. I'd like Coach Danny Machocha to come up to make the presentation, please. From the North Shore Mustangs, number 25, Jaden Jehoda Binney. From the LaSalle Warriors, number 23, Malik Weeks. From the Greenfield Park Packers, number 32, Marcus Dovaruso. From Les Pirates de Joliette, number 1, David Lozon. And from the North Shore Mustangs, number 27, Sonny Letourneau. All-Star running backs. Joueurs toute étoile, porteurs de ballon. Joueurs toute étoile, receveurs, all-star receivers. I'd like Coach Jamie Baresi to come up to make the presentation, please. From the St. Leonard Cougars, number 4, Samuel Omombo. From the Greenfield Park Packers, number 2, Nick Chinali. From the Laurentian Wildcats, number 10, Louis Lafleur. From the St. Lazare Stallions, number 19, Ryan Filling. From the LaSalle Warriors, number 1, Brandon Monroe. From the St. Laurent Spartans, number 35, Émile Duchesne. All-Star Receivers 2017, joueurs toute étoile, receveurs l'année 2017. I'd like to ask Coach Baresi to stay for the next presentation for the All-Star Quarterback. Corps arrière toute étoile 2017. And we have 2. From the St. Lazare Stallions, number 2, Jared Gallant. From the North Shore Mustangs, number 14, Evan White. All-Star Quarterbacks 2017, joueurs toute étoile, corps arrière. No, I'm fine. Thank you. I'd like to ask Wilbur Scott to come up to make the next presentation for the Jack Simpson Cup winners. Come on up. So now that we got Wilbur back over here, la présentation pour le trophée Jack Simpson Award. And I'd like the coaches only to come up. The Chateauguay Raiders coaching staff, organization. Jack Simpson Trophy winners for 2017, Chateauguay Raiders. Coach Baresi, if you can come back up. On behalf of the Quebec Midget Football League, we'd like to present you with a small token of our appreciation for your many years of volunteering with us. Thank you. I'd like to ask our secretary, notre secrétaire Nelly Vincente, to come up for the next presentation. This is the presentation of the Doug Britton Award, emblematic of the provincial champions of the Quebec Midget Football League. And this year we have an added award because our league this year we got involved. On s'est impliqué avec des joueurs de l'équipe de la région d'Ottawa for a interprovincial championship game, we can call it that, on peut l'appeler ça, entre les deux gagnants de les deux ligues. Et chez nous, les gagnants ont été North Shore Mustangs. This new interprovincial championship was organized for this year and hopefully will continue in the future. Next year, they will be visiting us. C'est un championnat qui a été organisé entre les deux ligues du Québec et la Ligue de l'Ontario. Cette année, nous avons été les visiteurs à Ottawa. L'année prochaine, c'est eux qui visitent chez nous. Congratulations again to the North Shore Mustangs for winning both. Mesdames et messieurs, it is the end of our banquet. C'est la fin de notre petit banquet. J'espère que j'ai pas fait trop d'erreurs et merci de votre tolérance. Thank you, and thank you for being involved. Merci. Thank you.